Hey everyone, Jordan Boostmaster here. Merry Christmas. What I wanted to do is just make a little video just kind of telling you guys what GoPro settings I use for all my mountain biking videos. But before I tell you that, I want to tell you guys that I'm actually going to be uploading pretty soon, hopefully this week, a very in-depth and pretty long GoPro tutorial video about every single feature and option in the GoPro cameras, just for the video mode. It's actually really long and really in-depth. Like, it's almost maybe 45 minutes long. We'll see what it is, and so it's kind of like my Christmas present to you is sort of what I wanted to do for you guys, is finally get this GoPro tutorial video up. But I also wanted to record this short little video just to quickly give a summary of like what settings I use, just a quick explanation of why. And then when I actually upload the GoPro tutorial video, you're gonna get like a very in-depth explanation about every single setting and like how it all works. And then you can make the best decisions of how you can record your best quality footage. Alright, so what settings do I actually use? I'm holding my Hero 5 right now so you can see how it actually looks. I always like to record in the highest resolution possible. So usually I record 4K 30 frames, or if I want 60 frames then I'll do 2.7K 60 frames. Or sometimes I'll do 2.7K super view mode 30 frames. That's pretty nice too, but those are generally the most used kind of resolution and frame rate options that I ever use. Now if I'm not doing super view mode, then I'm always doing the wide field of view, because there's wide, medium and narrow, and I'll explain in my video that medium and narrow is useless, it just crops in. And then there's a low light option, which I will never use, and I don't recommend you ever use it. It's pretty useless. As for spot meter mode, I never use that either. So then there's Pro Tune mode, and I always use Pro Tune mode. I will never record without using Pro Tune mode because it's pointless not to, I find. So I do recommend that you all use Pro Tune mode because it just opens up a whole bunch more features for you. And I'm going to explain to you kind of how those all work in my tutorial video. So the first option within Pro Tune mode is a white balance, and I always use the native white balance. Native white balance, you have to color correct it though, so that can be the downside, is where you have to color correct the footage. So if you guys can't color correct, then I don't recommend you use it. But if you can color correct like I can, then I absolutely recommend that you use native white balance. It gives you the best colors. So next there's a color profile option. There's a flat mode and then a GoPro color mode. I always use flat mode. This is one of the more interesting and important options to learn about, where I'm going to go really in depth into this into my tutorial video. But there's a lot to kind of understand because it doesn't quite work the way that you might think. Because I definitely learned something new from that while doing all of my testing. So I'm going to explain how that works, but I always use flat mode. And there's a shutter option. I always just have it set to auto. I don't bother using a manual shutter because I need the shutter speed to change automatically as I go into light and dark situations, so I just have it set to auto. When it comes to the ISO limit, I limit it at 400. That is the lowest ISO limit that you can have it set to. And then there's sharpness. Now sharpness, I always have it set to low. So then there's the exposure compensation option, which they call EV comp. Now this is also a pretty important option, so I always use -1 when recording my GoPro videos. But for this video that you're watching, I'm actually have it set to -2, so you can kind of see how that works. So I think that's about all that there is to say. That's just sort of the short summary of like what I use and why. I don't really use the image stabilization on this Hero 5 because it's a digital image stabilization, and so I'm not much of a fan of that. But otherwise, look forward to my epic GoPro tutorial video that I will upload fairly soon, hopefully within about a week, we shall see, but it's going to be pretty long. It's like maybe around 45 minutes long, so I tell you guys like everything that I know about these cameras, so I just want you guys to kind of look ahead for that. That'll be kind of like my Christmas present for you guys, you know, because I put a lot of work into this thing, like a lot of work. Alright, that's all. Merry Christmas, you guys. Have a good week.